Recording in progress.
To Micron Technology. I met her while I was developing sensors for radiology. We partnered very successfully on a bunch of products in that industry. And then we came together after we both sold these companies to look at what we wanted to do next. What really ended up, drawing us in was the idea of input for the next generation. And we understood that people had been using QWERTY keyboards since their invention back in 1878. It was a long time for a technology to be so persistent. And it's been, in a way, an incredible enabler for mankind, and in the other way, sort of a shackles to us, right? Because every time we develop a new kind of computer, a mobile phone or a tablet or whatever, we have to figure out how to squeeze, a QWERTY keyboard idea into that technology in order for us to be able to use it, and that we noticed was just hitting the wall, right? So it was kind of okay, but for the technology that existed. But as we were getting into futuristic technologies that were wearable, that had absolutely no way to have a physical keyboard of any kind, we realized that this was going to be an enormous impediment to the advancement of technology and computing as we got into the next generation. So we started to think about how to solve this problem. And, a very graphical way of looking at the problem is, okay, let's say that the future is some sort of lightweight wearable, whether it's glasses or something else, but it's a lightweight wearable that does what your computer, is supposed to do. Well, how do you fit, all of this input technology that's now built into big headsets that you could wear, for example, into this lightweight wearable? A incredible challenge, right? So we started thinking about different ways to solve it. It's sort of a thought experiment, right? If you can't touch a keyboard, if you can't touch your device, how are you going to do all of the interactions that we currently do with our keyboard, which includes, driving menus and selecting apps and writing text and, and controlling media and scrolling through social and all these things that we do. How are we going to do it? And we came up with this idea of being able to use your fingertips as input devices, as little tap devices. And as we started developing and sort of flushing out that whole idea, we realized that what we had here was something that was truly revolutionary. It was something that had never been done before, and had enormous advantages over anything else that had been proposed. So TAP, it's just a technology that reads what your fingertips are doing, and it can replace your keyboard, your mouse, the remote control on your television, or the remote, controller for your gaming device, and it replaces all of the other big, bulky, expensive compute and battery heavy hardware that has been proposed to do the same thing. So it had, just on the face of it, huge advantages over anything that had been done before. Now, can I have the next slide, please? Yeah. So the first problem that we had to face is that there was no technology in the world that existed to be able to sense finger movements with this amount of precision. And so the first thing that we did was we developed the Tap Strap in 2018. This was our first go-to-market product. It's just a series of rings that you wear on your hand, and it does kind of what it looks like it does. It mechanically senses all of your finger motions. And we thought that we would sell about 1,000 of them. It was just an experimental kind of device. And it was really meant for niche applications such as like accessibility. But it turns out that we've sold over 40,000 of these devices, which we think is about a 40% market share of the entire addressable market for those specific niches, because it is a fairly specific device. But by selling so much, as I'll tell you later, we were able to get an amazing amount of data about tapping and about how people actually do this and what problems they face, how they learn it, and all of these other really important analytics about this whole industry. Now, in 2023, we came out with also an experimental device, but the first ever, wrist wearable tap detector. And this incorporated, in addition to mechanical, it also introduced the idea of optical sensing for finger tapping. And so the Tap XR is sort of a wristband. It's very, you wear it like this, and it does exactly the same thing. It interprets finger taps. The market for this, is larger, and it's a much better form factor for consumers. Moving forward, I have something kind of exciting to show you right now today. Is something called the Tap Clip. And it's not on the market yet, so this is sort of a sneak preview of what this device is. But it's a miniaturized tap device. It's very, very small, and you just clip it onto anything that you're wearing. I'm just wearing like a regular, standard watch, and whether it's a watch or a Fitbit or anything. And this device is geared specifically for the future market that we're going to talk about addressing in a minute, which is quite exciting. So let's go to the next slide. So the thing about tap, which is unique, is that it's the first ever modality that you can use with any of your devices. So if you think about it, your devices, you've got your computer, and you've got your television, and you've got your game controller, etc. This device you can use for everything. Just go to the next screen. Another thing about it that is unique, and we really didn't know until we launched it and got so much user data, is that it's incredibly easy to learn. So learning to tap, and I'm talking about tapping the whole alphabet, not just using it for menu control. Using it for menu control has basically zero learning curve, right? But if you want to use it as a keyboard, there is a learning curve. That learning curve is about 10 times faster than QWERTY. So for QWERTY, it typically takes somebody about a month just to get to something like 12 to 15 words per minute, because it's so difficult to learn all of those key positions. With tapping, you just need to know what each of your fingers has to do. It's position independent, and so it's very, very fast. The other thing that's very, very powerful about it is that it's very fast. So our customers can tap at about 70 to 75 words per minute, some of them over 80 words per minute. And that's twice the national average, or the global average for touch typing, which is only around 38 words per minute. So it's a very, very fast modality. So when we launched it, we also launched a mapping application. So anybody who buys a tap can create their own custom layout of what the finger positions trigger, right? And as a result of this, we have a community of users that have created a huge number of maps, over 7,500 maps. This includes 200 language apps, about 1,500 professional apps, and these are very, very important for us. There's things like AutoCAD and Photoshop, very, very common and broadly used applications that you can make more productive by using Tap, and over 500 different game maps. So for you or your kids, if you see what they're playing, I don't know. I'm not a gamer, but we have a lot of the popular games have many, many maps that are associated with them that help players play those games, gives them a little bit of a competitive edge. So, in the end, we created a device that has addressed a huge number of market applications, some in consumer and enterprise. Accessibility is also a very important category for us. And with this one technology, we address all of these different modalities, all of these different devices, and all of these different use cases. So all of these are like little buds on a tree that can all grow into huge markets. Okay, so everything that I've talked about up until now is about what we've done so far, right? What we have done with TAP, with getting it into the market, optimizing the technology, getting it to be really small, and getting it into the hands of these users that are using it for all of these different applications. You know, I want to shift gears now and start talking a little bit about the future, right? So we are currently, you know, at the cusp of this enormous revolution that everybody's aware of, you know, the AI revolution. And, you know, I at this point in my career, as some of you know me, you know, I've been around, you know, since the 1980s. So I was there for the PC revolution. I was there for the internet revolution about 15 years later, the mobile phone revolution about 10 years after that, and now the AI revolution. What all these things have in common, I mean, there's many interesting things to say about all of them, but they all changed our lives dramatically. And in each case, we didn't really predict how it was going to play out. And you know, no matter how optimistic people were or pessimistic they were, nobody really understood exactly how they'd play out. And the same is true right now with AI. But I think that we all have a sense, especially those of us who have been around and seen these different transformative technologies, that AI is something which is going to be integrated into our lives fundamentally, both in business and in our day-to-day activities in a way that's going to be extremely powerful and very interesting and hopefully very positive, right? Okay, so going to the next slide. So, you know, what is the market opportunity in all with AI? It's almost impossible to totally estimate it. I mean, this is an estimation that says that by 2034 it'll be $3.6 trillion, and that's a lot of money. You know, I mean, that is a lot of money. I want to say, though, that, you know, 3.6 trillion is only about the market cap of Apple. And there are estimates of the AI opportunity that are much higher, you know, much more like 15 trillion in this time frame. Whatever the number is going to be, it's obviously going to be an extremely, you know, big part of the economy of the world, right? Now, what does this mean for, let's just go to the next slide, for just wearable technology, you know, because that's where we, you know, really are focused. So for wearable AI, so AI is going to exist, obviously, on your laptop. It's going to exist on your mobile device, but it's also going to exist in something that you're going to wear, you know, and something that's going to allow you to use those AI agents that we're using for all of these other applications all the time, right? So maybe at your desk, you know, you'll be using it on your computer, but as you get up and you walk around, you're going to put something, you know, clip it on, you know, wear it as glasses, whatever it's going to be, that's going to have that capability built in. And you know, I honestly am not a, you know, overly optimistic futurist, but I think that these estimates actually make a lot of sense if you look at what's happening now. And it's talking about a $200 billion market. So that's just the wearable part of this. Another way of looking at this in a concrete way is just to look at what's happened in the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025, and we're only a month in, right? In which wearable AI technology, wearable AI-enabled glasses has simply exploded. And right now in 2025, a month in, you know, there have been almost twice as many new products introduced as there were last year, and about twice as many products that are available for sale now than were in all of the years combined before this. So so the hockey stick has already started, and you know, obviously the most, you know, the highest selling product is the Meta Ray-Bans that have sold over 1 million units, you know, just in the past few months. But you know, annually, we are at like sort of the takeoff point for this whole industry. Going to the next slide. Okay, so now this gets me back to kind of this loop. Okay, so now we've got this incredible industry. We're going to be using these wearables. How are we going to control them? And this is the problem that Sabrina and I set out to solve literally 10 years ago. So 10 years of developing and perfecting and studying human behavior around these technologies has brought us to this point in which by the end of this decade, we're going to need about 100 million per year of these input devices. Okay, going to the next slide. And again, going back to, well, why is this such a tough problem? It's because, well, if you've got a huge headset, then you can build all sorts of things into it. You can have handheld controllers, you can put down-facing cameras, you can use eye gaze. There's a large number of things that you can do to control them. However, people are not going to walk around wearing these headsets. They're going to want to walk around using something that is the most minimalistic pair of glasses that they can find. It may not even be glasses. It may be something much, much lighter weight. And so how are you going to put all of that sensing technology into the glasses? So what are the other alternatives? So I will tell you outright that there are no direct competitors to tap. There's nobody else who's trying to do the kind of micromotion, fingertip input detection and control that tap accomplishes. So these input alternatives are different technologies, but they try to address the same question. So the most popular one, obviously, is voice. Voice is used right now to interact with LLMs, with AI agents. The great thing about it is that you don't need a lot of additional equipment. You can build a microphone into just about any device, no matter how small it is. The cons have to do with the human factors of talking to a device, right? And so if you're in your own home and you want to play a song using Alexa, it's great. If you're having an AI conversation in your car, that's also fine. But if you're out in public, then it becomes problematic. If you want to do things like menu control, it becomes extremely fatiguing and very, very cumbersome. So it is a great and powerful technology. It will absolutely have a important part of the future, but it does not address the basic problem of device control. Okay. Rings are a different option. I'm talking about sort of a smart ring that you'd wear on your hand that could detect a very, very few number of gestures. It's like 3 or 4 gestures. You can do quite a bit with 3 or 4 gestures, but there's a lot of things that you can't do. And it's another wearable. It's another thing that you have to wear on your hand. And many people cannot really wear a ring. And if you do, you still need to take it off when you're washing your hands, etc. It's not really a comfortable thing to do with very limited, capability. Another thing that there's a lot of research that's being done on is EMG, stands for electromyography, and without going into all the details, it measures the muscle signals whenever you flex a muscle. So you can make a wristband or generally like more of a forearm band that can sense these muscle activities. There are prototypes that are out there. They don't work very well. There's a lot of challenges with making EMG work reliably. It's very, very sensitive to temperature, to humidity, to perspiration, to different, human anatomy, to other motions that you might be doing while you're trying to do a gesture. So as a gesture detection technology, it is very, very difficult to bring it to market, and so far has not been successfully commercialized. And we don't think that it will be. Okay. So our solution, by comparison, overcomes all these things. And in particular, the tap clip, also has the benefit of really not being an additional wearable. I'm already wearing a watch. I'm just clipping this on. So, it's completely unobtrusive. Nobody really even knows that I've got it on. You're not asking me to wear, an armband or a ring or something like that. So it's much easier to adopt that way. And in addition, it has all of these advantages, so it's very discreet. It's not like speaking. It's very, very accurate. It's no fatigue, works with any device. You can do every gesture that you want, including everything that you can do with a QWERTY keyboard, composing text, controlling content, and navigating. So it's a very, very powerful technology that almost feels like you're not wearing another piece of equipment, that you're not wearing an additional technology, wearable technology. All right. So just to give you a little taste, of what this experience can generate if you combine all of these things. So we're going to combine. Oh, thanks, Scott. Okay, so let's play the video. Oh, you're muted. Okay, so basically, this is just a scene where somebody is sitting down. They're wearing their smart glasses. They get a text. They're able to navigate a menu to reply to the text, and then they're able to use the typing features that you have with Tap. I can elaborate on this in the Q&A if you'd like, but there's a lot of very powerful experiences, and we're going to also share a lot of the content that users have done, and we've also done about these experiences with you in the future. So it's a very cool experience. So let's go to the next. Okay, all right. So what is the most exciting thing? That after these 10 years of development, the industry is finally catching up with us. And this is a picture that was taken at the AWA show, the Augmented World Expo show, just a few months ago. And everybody right now is interested in our solution. We go to these shows every year. We were just at the CES show, the Consumer Electronics show, a couple of weeks ago. And every year we meet with all these companies and we show them our technology, and they're very impressed and they think it's great, and they give us a little pat on the head and they say, when we're ready for it, we'll be in touch. Well, this year is different. This year, everybody is trying to bring to market a consumer-ready smart glasses or a wearable, and they all are interested in how they're going to control it, and all of them are very interested in Tap. So go to the next slide. Just a little snapshot of the companies that we're speaking with. And these conversations are sort of all over the map. Some of them are more advanced. Some of them are more exploratory. But all of these companies are, working on concrete projects to bring to market within the next 18 months. And all of them have a need for input solutions. So the opportunity horizon truly is remarkable right now. It really is great. Okay, next slide. Okay, how are we going to take advantage of it? So, we are positioned extremely well to do a number of different things to take advantage. So we have a terrific patent portfolio that protects this technology along with our know-how. So that allows us to do licensing, where we can simply license this IP to other companies, and they can take care of all of the manufacturing, and we'll get a royalty revenue from that. There's also OEMs, so we have very good manufacturing lines. We can provide a finished product to a lot of these companies under their brand name and make money that way. And finally, we can sell the product either as an accessory to smart glasses, but also into all of the markets that I've talked about in the past, and some new ones that are enabled specifically because the tap clip is so small and ergonomic. So we have a lot of also product sales opportunities. How does this look financially for us? So, in this next, let's say, year, 18 months, most of the revenue is going to come from direct to consumer and then OEM. But then over the long run, we think it's going to be licensing, where we're going to be, working with companies to just put our technology into their watches or their fitness monitors, and they're going to do the manufacturing, and we'll get the royalty. I'll just sort of segue, because it's a good time to point it out, that all of these conversations can also lead to acquisitions, and especially the companies, the larger companies that are interested in using Tap technology will ultimately want an exclusive ability to do so. And as that happens, the conversation starts shifting from a licensing partnership into an acquisition. So that's definitely on our radar screen, and they all know it as well. So so that's the dynamic of how these conversations tend to go. All right, just some highlights about the company. We're incorporated in 2015. We're a California company, but we have an R&D subsidiary in Israel. So actually, we have more employees in Israel than we do in the United States. It's a full-blown team of engineering and science. And here in the United States, we have sales, marketing, customer service, and of course, all of the things like accounting and legal, et cetera, here in the United States. So that's how we're organized. We have about $5 million in cumulative sales, about 12.4 million. It's a little bit out of date, that number. That's raised to date. Okay, so why are we raising money now? So we are trying to take the maximum advantage possible of the market. So we have this market opportunity where we're talking to all these companies and can really access this opportunity. To do so, we need more money. We need to commercialize the tap clip for mass market. We need to expand our R&D staff because now we want to be supporting multiple different companies with little what they call POCs, proof of concept engineering things. So we want to build our engineering staff, and we want to have enough runway to be able to have these conversations and cash in on them. So we're doing actually a parallel offering, a Reg D offering for accredited investors, and also we are now just launching now. Actually, it's in private mode, but it'll be going public soon. A WeFunder campaign, and we think that it's an amazing opportunity. So we'll go to the next slide. Yeah, and just talk about reasons to invest. So, I mean, these are things that some companies claim they have, but it's very rare that it actually exists. So first of all, we're a first mover advantage. We are the experts in this input modality, and we are here right at the birth of this new technology. We already have discussions with major tech companies. We have a already issued patent portfolio. Our technology is commercially proven. It's been in the hands of lots of customers, very, very diverse group of people, and we know that it works and that people can effectively use it. And we have a lot of backing financially. So we have both angels and over 6,500 investors through crowdfunding. So just some details about WeFunder. So I'd encourage all of you who are not in the Reg D category to go to WeFunder and look at our page. The minimum right now is $360. We still have the early bird special. It'll be on until we fill up that tranche. And there's also perks for people who want to invest a little bit more money on the WeFunder platform. Okay, that's this part of it. I'll just do a recap and then I'll take questions. So okay, let's go to the Q&A, and if we can stop sharing for a little bit so that everybody can be on camera. So for questions, please either unmute yourself and ask the question out loud. That would be great. Also, you can just type it into the chat, and Yoav will help me answer them. And if there are questions that have to do with customer experience, I have Virginia here, and if we have things that have to do with marketing, also Yoav is here, so we can all handle your questions.
All right, I think the first question is, what are the difference between the Tap XR with the mount clip versus the actual tap clip that is coming up?
Okay, so that's a great question. And it's really just a matter of better technology. So this is what this is what the tap clip module looks like. And because of its size, it has to be used in a custom band in order for it to really be comfortable. Whereas the tap clip just uses, it's just great engineering. It's just really, really small, and has a better battery life, slightly more reliable, slightly better optics in it. And because of that, you can wear it with anything that you've got, any bracelet, watch, Fitbit, etc. Those are the differences. Functionally, they're the same. They both, have very high accuracy on both hard surfaces and soft surfaces. They both perform very, very well, both for alphanumeric and menu control. So they're similar from a functional standpoint.
Great. Another question is, are there any plans to create an updated ring version like the Tap Strap 2?
No, we don't have any plans right now. We are we are going to keep selling the tap strap. Thanks. Well, the tap strap is interesting because it's unusual, as you can see, JJ there. It's an unusual form factor, and but it is very, very useful for certain situations. And so we have tried to end of life it several times, but our customers won't let us. And it still has a following. We still sell them on Amazon. We sell a whole bunch of them every day. So thank you to our users that are using it. And we're going to continue supporting it, of course.
Thank you, JJ, for being a super fan.
Yeah, and right, we will keep adding, all the software features that we roll out for the tap clip. We will also try to put into the Tap XR, the tap strap if it's possible to do so.
All right. The next question from Corey is: Are the input finger movements the same from the original strap for the clip?
Yes, they are the same. The only thing that I would say is different is that we've added additional gestures. So in addition to the taps, we've also put in finger pinches, so you can pinch any of your fingers to your thumb, and that's a gesture that it will recognize. And it also has an ear mouse in it. So and it also has some other swipe features that we're developing for specific customers.
Right. Another question: what are the differences between the sensors in the different units?
So the tap straps are all mechanical sensors. They're just IMUs and accelerometers. The Tap XR and the Tap Clip have those kinds of sensors in it, but they also have optical sensors inside them. So it uses a kind of a optomechanical technique for determining, what's been tapped.
All right, thank you. Another question was, what R&D talent are we bringing in post-raise?
We're going to be bringing in mostly machine learning and software. We have a really deep bench in hardware. So we're building out both the application software and the machine learning AI kind of functionality.
All right. Next question: how will we charge the clip? Is it proprietary, wireless, or USB-C?
It's probably going to be proprietary. The one that we have here, this first prototype is like a pogo pin, I guess you'd call it. So it's sort of the same as charging your smartwatch. It'll depend also on specific customers, so we're working with some big companies and we'll see what they want to do.
All right. Someone's asking if EMG is being developed by Meta.
Yes. Answer: absolutely yes. They're the most prominent company developing EMG. They actually demonstrated an EMG strap in October, and it could sense 3 gestures, which was the good thing. And the bad thing was that the user had to be stationary. It had to be extremely snug on, actually couldn't be worn on the wrist, had to be worn kind of, I don't know, lower forearm. They've spent a huge amount of money on it, and it's a questionable technology. I mean, EMG you know, it gives different signals. If you're like chewing gum, literally, and doing a hand gesture, it'll dramatically change the results of the EMG output. So it's almost like a pseudo-random biosignal. Biosignals are tough.
Gerald is asking, based on your experience with Schick Technologies acquisition, what kind of multiples are typical, and what are the variables?
So look, Schick Technologies was a public company, so it was a little bit easier to value the acquisition. For a private company, which we expect to be private when we're bought, it's going to depend more on future potential. So it could be all over the map. The multiples will depend on. Okay, I mean, to answer the question, look, there have been companies like us that have been sold for huge multiples, and there are companies like us that have been sold for only modest multiples, of multiples of future projected earnings, right? And we're not going to really know until the rubber hits the road, like what kind of value we're going to get. I would say that reasonable to say that we'll get something like a 5x multiple, but it could be a little bit less than that, and it could be more than that. We don't really know. Now I'm talking about multiple from the current WeFunder valuation, which is about $88 million.
All right. Another question is about the geometry of the hands. I'm not sure I really get it, but maybe you understand what with the tap XR hand geometry was an issue. Does the tap clip do this differently?
Yeah. I understand the question. Yeah, and it's true like that there were people who had difficulty using the Tap XR, and the positioning was very fussy. And yeah, a lot of that is being addressed with the Tap clip. I can't explain exactly how because it's proprietary, but we have a lot of data on this, and the Tap clip should be plug and play. Just put it on. It should work for pretty much everybody.
Right. Someone's commenting that I take it some form of AI would improve the EMG and even the standard tap type input.
It's already lots of AI is being brought to bear with all this technology, is for sure. Yeah.
Got it. Trying to scroll through. There's a lot of comments, but not trying to find the questions. If anyone has a question, you can also unmute yourself and ask questions or just type them in here. Here's a new one. Obviously, the TAP hardware is the priority, but TAP has made some interesting software, and a lot of it is starting to show its age. Are updates coming for the learning tools, or is there a new software coming?
Yes, that is a great question. And it's true. I mean, we have some really fantastic learning tools, but we always are looking to improve them. And so we have alongside the tap clip, we have some exciting new updates for our applications to onboard people more effectively, to get them up to speed more effectively, and also to give them, interesting and fun experiences.
Okay. Someone's asking about drag and drop functionality within the tap clip.
I'm not sure what the starting point of the question is, but yeah. So, I mean, just to let everybody know, we have, limited air mouse capabilities in the commercial version of the Tap XR. Okay. We have a developer mode, which does have drag and drop, which is a very important feature, and Tap Clip will have that as well.
All right. Someone's asking if there will be a carrying case similar to Apple AirPods.
Again, probably. It really will depend on the specific customer applications. But for the consumer version, just I guess to sum it up, yeah, I mean, it probably will be very similar to the AirPods. There'll be a carrying case, which will also have the charging hardware inside and a backup battery, and and it'll be charged by putting it in the case, and it'll be used by just taking it out and clipping it on. That is the most probable thing. I'll say that it's not in mass production yet, and we are we are testing out and trying to optimize this for as many people as we possibly can. I will say to you, since we have a lot of customers on the call, if you have a point of view, let us know. We're happy to get feedback, and it will help us make decisions about how to optimize this for the next generation.
So if it may be a question with regard to how much money do you want to raise through WeFunder? What do you need, and how long will it then give you the opportunity as a run rate?
So I think that if we hit 2 million, which I think is quite doable, we'll have plenty of runway at this point. I think that I am hoping for 3 million, both with the Reg D and the WeFunder together. I'm hoping for 3 million. So that's our stretch goal, and that gets us lots of additional runway.
Okay, thanks.
All right. I don't see any new questions.
I see a few. The IR. So one of the questions here was, how about a better IR projector to see better in the dark? That was a consumer question. How is there a thought about pairing the two clips, one on each hand wrist, so that you could have two, which is something that I really had hoped would be part of the strap 2, so that one could use multi cords for people who play piano, for instance. That makes a lot of sense. My question right here, though, is it sounds like the next product, the clip, would be kind of the point at which you would stop development of hardware and focus primarily on the SDK and licensing. Like looking at the projections that you showed us, licensure over the next 4 years, 5 years would be the primary focus. So is it then an intent to do less development of hardware? Because as you mentioned, like this has very few competitors. I think the HapX that was actually one of the sessions you guys went to, and I don't know if that was at CES, but the HapX is a large unwielding object that doesn't provide nearly the same amount of data, nearly the same amount of unique tap types that are available from your product that you guys have been developing for 10 years now, and it is incredibly unique in the market.
Yeah,
but the development stopped at a certain point, and it that was disappointing.
Look, right. I mean, our goal is to maximize the experience for our customers, and in doing so, maximize the value for our investors. That is what we aim to do, and we have to use the resources that we've got in the most efficient way. So not every we don't ever expect to stop doing something that adds value, and we do have we have hardware engineers that blow the doors off of the design teams at some of these big companies, and so we're going to continue to add value by using those resources. The tap strap, which we thought really would be like really a niche product, does have legs. So obviously, if that is good for us, good for our investors, good for our customers, we'll continue to develop new features and to enhance it. But if it doesn't, then we won't. I mean, we'll obviously support the customers that we have, but we may not put resources in that. So this is just a matter of getting everybody the best value, and it's people buy our product, they're making a commitment to us, we have a commitment to them to support them. If people invest through WeFunder, we have a commitment to them to get them a return on their investment, and so that's what's driving our decision process.
One of the questions within the question was about the IR camera to improve low light conditions.
Yeah, so I mean, IR illumination, so this gets a little technical, but we don't use active illumination. It presents more problems than it solves, and you just gonna have to if you want, I'll have an email with you about this offline. But But one of the great things about TAP is that it's very, very sensitive and very low light effective, and it's getting better, even better in the TAP clip than it was in the TAP XR. And so unless somebody wants to use it in absolute darkness, it works really well.
I think people generally want to know when we might see some sort of the tap clip available for either beta or purchase.
So TAP clip is going to be available for mass market for everybody in Q4. We'll have it for our potential partners in Q2. So it's coming pretty quickly, and we have prototypes now that we're showing to our customers. We are thinking about doing a pre-sale. So if you are interested in the TAP clip, you can let us know, and we'll prioritize you in terms of getting the first ones. And but we're it's going to be a super exciting product, and it'll be available before the holidays for this year.
I'm just going to drop my email into the chat so that if you want to be added to that list, you can just email me.
All right. Thanks, Virginia. Thank you for doing that. All right. All right. Are there any other questions? All right. So maybe let's just do a little recap, and we'll wrap it up. Okay. So again, the things about TAP which are, I think, remarkable and compelling from an investment standpoint and a technology standpoint. There's a lot of great founders out there. I don't think that you're going to get founders like Sabrina and myself with the track record that we have of building these fundamental technologies and getting successful exits. TAP is positioned to solve this problem in wearable AI, which literally is a multi-$100 billion market. And we think that looking at the competition, there's really nothing that really touches us. This technology is proprietary, which gives us all kinds of opportunities for licensing and monetizing. And it's not an imaginary technology. This is something that exists here. We have 50,000 users using all of our products. And so it's something which has really been proven. All these things are really unique. So I hope that you join us, that you join our family of investors. We really have an amazing group of, the entire TAP community is amazing. Our employees, our engineers, the people in Israel, our users have been incredible and incredibly supportive. And of course, our investors have also been amazing. So thanks everybody for all of your contributions to this. And please look at the WeFunder page and hopefully you should invest. The early bird special is still available. So if you want to take advantage of it, you should do that soon. And okay, thanks very much. We're gonna wrap it up now.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, everybody. Eric, nice to see you.
Thank you all.